good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is where you are. Thanks for joining me. Now, I was supposed to be streaming every other week because I don't want to overload myself with my health issues. And have kind of been keeping up with that, sometimes not as often as I'd like to. But this time, I'm doing an extra stream after 1 week. And that's just because I want to build my new keyboard. I wanted to build it on stream. And I didn't want to wait until next week to build it. So basically, here we are. A few weeks ago, I tried modding my existing keyboard, which you can see on screen right now. This is a Sharkoon Pure Writer RGB, I believe. I've been using it for about 6 years. It's not a bad keyboard, but it's not a great keyboard. I tried modding it. Turns out there's not that much I can do to it. If I try and take off one of these keys without making everything crash, it has these weird switches. I don't know if you can see them there. They're not cherry stems. They're different. I've forgotten the name of them. But what it means is I can't put most keycaps on. I can't hot swap the keyboard, so I'm kind of stuck with these switches unless I want to really get soldering, and I don't particularly want to desolder all of these switches in order to go on. So I'm just going to carry on with what this is. And what I did to mod it is, you probably can't read this because it's in Dutch, but this is draft excluder for a door. And it's just little strips of sticky foam. And I just put that inside in order to soak up the sound, just so that it wasn't a big hollow space. Worked really well. It doesn't sound particularly bad now. So let's get into a Notepad app and see whether or not you can hear this. But it's still not amazing. So there's very little more I can do. I've already overstuffed it because it doesn't quite close as it should do. So it's time. I'm going to do a new keyboard. If you are looking for a new keyboard, there is a whole new world out there. It is absolutely overwhelming. So I have been... Hey, Fussnable! Hey there, how are you doing? You need a Bucky Spring. What is a Bucky Spring keyboard? I've not come across that term yet. Educate me, please. So yeah, I had no idea what I wanted. I kind of want clicky keys, as you can hear. I'm a clicky key gal, but at the same point, I know that it can get really annoying when you are working with colleagues on calls, or if I'm streaming. I don't want to overwhelm the microphone with click, 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 click. So I've decided to go down the tactile route. But even then, do you go for an Epomaker? Do you go for a Keychron? Do you go for a Newfie, a Lofi, a Rainy? The choice is just absolutely overwhelming. I spent many months watching way too many YouTube videos on keyboards, and I settled on an option, and I've gone full custom. As a colleague said to me this morning, of course you did. If you say you're going to get a keyboard, we know you're going to go over the top to start with, and I can't really argue with that one. Oh, the Bucky Spring is like the IBMs from the 90s. Oh, yeah, I do like that. That's just pure nostalgia for me. The only thing is I've found that I don't particularly get on with it these days. I brought my partner a new keyboard, and it sounds to me just like those 90s keyboards did. But I can't type in it. The keys are too high. The profile just doesn't fit my typing anymore. I think I'm too used to low profile and laptop keyboards. So going over the top, let's move this one out of the way a second. Try not to knock any of my cables off. We have a few boxes. These are my keycaps. I am not opening these yet because I just adore these keycaps and I want to leave them till the end. So let's put those aside. I have my switches. And for the switches, I've gone for these KTT Macaron Blues, which are kind of a silent tactile. So they do make some noise, but they're not overly noisy. But, oh, they feel fantastic. Let's see if I can get one out without damaging it. They're Prelude. let's see how well they work. In doing the test fitting for the keyboard, I have already managed to bend one of the pins and have to put them back in place again. So let's see how well I do building the keyboard. Hello to Blacks102. How are you doing this afternoon? I hope you're having as fun a day as I am. And then we have the keyboard itself. And this is really heavy. So I went for the Epomaker, I really don't know how to pronounce this, Feker Galaxy X. I'm not swearing there. It's how I've heard so many people say it online. This is a budget keyboard, but it's full aluminium. It's hot swappable, south-facing LEDs, and it just seems quite nice in all of the reviews that I've seen of it. It's easy to take apart and get inside and mod it. I don't have the energy to mod it today, so I'm going to be using it stock for a week or two and then deciding what I'm going to do from there. Oh, Tublux102, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. My 50th sub. And FuelSable, on the one hand, talk on the phone and in Teams. Then I'm definitely with you. I have been that annoying coworker with the clicky keyboard at work. I had an ergonomic keyboard in one of the jobs that I was in, and it broke. And our hardware department, even though I got the approval for the new keyboard, they took weeks before even ordering it, and they were just really dragging their heels. So I brought in my original Microsoft ergonomic keyboard, which was loud as anything. Within 2 hours, the keyboard was ordered. It's not why I brought it in. I just wanted a nice keyboard to work with, but I've got to say, it's amazing how well it worked. Right, let's try not destroy the boxes because I want to keep these. So there's lots of different colors that you can get for these keyboards. And you brought your own screen sometimes at work. I've taken my own computer in sometimes for work. I worked in one company, and it was just a weird system. If you hadn't been there for 5 years, you had to work on the worst possible hardware. 1080 768 LCD 14-inch screen, a lethargic compact that had no memory or no performance or anything else. And in the end, I just gave up and I took my laptop in, which was way better than the one that I was using. And lots of people complained. Well, 2 people complained. One person complained at me of, why are you wasting your own hardware on work? Because I spend 8 hours a day using this and I actually want something that's half decent. And one person complained, why should she get to use a laptop when we don't? And my answer to them was, well, bring your own laptop and then this isn't works. So you have a slight reduction in sight. So in order to be comfortable, you need to run big fonts. Yeah, totally get you. When you need some kind of accommodation, some people can just really not get that. It's I need a high resolution screen. So it feels so wrong to say this, but 1080p just doesn't do it for me anymore. I like a high resolution screen, and the 2 that I've got in front of me here, they are 27-inch 4K screens. They work fantastically. I can deal with those. My 13-inch laptop also has a 4K screen, but I don't use that at 100%, obviously. But everything is just so sharp and so clear that it's less eye strain for me. I don't get headaches. I don't get as fatigued. So that's why I need the high resolution. But I totally get why you need a big screen for that. And yeah, I don't agree with your coworkers, but I get the people asking, well, why should you get that? And I just don't get why people have their thoughts in their head. It's, if you need something to be able to do your job, then you need something to be able to do your job. It's as simple as that. And you can't stand more than one screen. I know other people that can't work on more than one screen. It's I don't work constantly over 2 screens, but I like to have my one screen that I'm working on and then the second for ancillary stuff. You're going to Swaytug. Oh, that's so cool. I will see you then. That's going to be my first and, well, quite possibly my only conference of Automates. I've made sure that I'm not going away to any other conferences to make sure that I can cope with Swaytug. That is just awesome. I will see you there. And I'm going to be doing a joint talk at Swaytug this year with a friend of mine, Karen Todd, from Karen Tester on YouTube. And we're going to be talking about how developers and testers can really help each other. And it doesn't have to be that traditional, we hate each other attitude that unfortunately I have dealt with sometimes in my life. And you're doing a talk too. That's even better. What are you doing your talk on? I'm intrigued. I hope we're not talking at the same time. So the keyboard, like I say, it's fairly hefty. It's made out of solid aluminium, so it has some heft to it. It has something that I was going to show in a few minutes, but apparently I'm going to show it now. It has triple connectivity. So we've got 2.4 gigahertz connector here, which apparently is good for wireless gaming. And that goes underneath this magnetic cover here, which I really love. It's easy to get off. And I just know that that's going to be a fidget toy for me. Just because it's so satisfying to put that on and off. It's a 10KL keyboard. But whereas some of the 75% ones, you only get one row of keys here, so you lose a couple of keys. Here you have all your keys here. Your arrow keys are nicely situated. And there's even an F13 key. So I've got to decide what I'm going to put into that one. Or what I'm going to route it to anyway. I'll have some kind of thought for that. If you have a look at the back, so to get into it, you need to take out these 8 plugs, and then you just unscrew it and take it apart. Like I say, I'm probably not going to be doing that today. I'm just going to concentrate on building it and getting it working and then testing it and make sure everything's good. Oh, and hello. Am I going to say this right? Tablezolt? Am I saying that right? Hello here from YT. Where is YT? I'm not sure where that one is. I'm terribly sorry. It might just be my fatigue-addled brain. But awesome to see you here. Let's hope that we can build a keyboard and get it working at the end. Oh, from YouTube. Yeah, that's definitely my fatigue-addled brain. So you're going to be talking about how to build apps that... Oh, that is so cool. Oh, and you're not on my time slot, so I can definitely come and see that. That's cool. I'm speaking on day 2, so that I have some time to recover from the traveling before I need to speak. I remember, it makes me sound so old. I remember when, back when I was in uni in the 90s, you got all of these demo discs with people just doing the most amazing applications that all fit into a super small piece of space. I can't wait to see what you do there. And you've released... Oh, that was a Minesweeper you were talking about with Tyndall yesterday. That Minesweeper. I definitely want to see this. That is so cool. And we're going to have a chat there, and I'm going to be really cheeky now. After Svetuk, would you mind joining me one day and going through what you did there? Because I would just love to have a more in-depth conversation about that. Awesome! Thank you so much. Okay, let's now put... I think it's 85 switches into the keyboard. I have these 3 which I'm not changing. They're the default ones that came with the keyboard, which are I think they're Feker linears, because I don't feel any feedback on them. So we'll see what happens there. And now we just have to go across, and this is a bit where in all the videos they either do magic or they speed it up, and well, I'm on stream, I don't have any magic, I'm afraid. So we're just going to have to plod along and put them in one after the other. And desperately try not to bend them. So we've talked about why I picked... Well, I picked the keyboard just because after watching everything, it just seemed to be about the best fit for me. I wanted an aluminium keyboard. And I wanted an aluminium keyboard, one, because I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit better quality long term. And two, because I can't get the color that I want. So my plan is, she says hopefully, my plan is to, there we go, spray it at some point in the future. So my dad was a paint sprayer, and he sprayed a few of my cars for me. He did a lot of work in the garage, restoring friends' cars and things like that. It was his thing, whereas computers are mine. And actually, I don't know if you can see it on here. I'm possibly sitting in front of it, but it's why I have this on my backdrop. This is the spray can that he used to spray my Spitfire when he restored it for me. And that was the last job that he did before he passed away. So this has an extremely special place in my heart and is proudly on display behind me. It's this is being kept forever. And because I spent time with him spraying cars, and I was never good at it. My brother, on the other hand, he's absolutely amazing working with his hands. I'm not. But small style stuff I can do. I've sprayed push bikes. I've sprayed a motorbike for a friend in the past. And I'm thinking that spraying this shouldn't be too much of a problem. So I'm wondering what color I can get it, what's going to go with the keycaps that I'm about to show you in a few minutes, and see where we go from there. I think I've just bent that key. No, it's just a weird socket. There we go. So that's why I picked the keyboard. The switches, well, that's just a much, much worse reason. I picked the switches basically because I was overwhelmed. They got okay reviews. They're tactile, so hopefully it's like going to be a little bit light typing on clicky without being so noisy. Even though I know it's not going to be the same because it's not clicky. They're not supposed to be the same. They're pre-lubed, so hopefully I don't have to do any dismantling of switches in the short term, because I really don't think I'm up for that. Not yet, anyway. And this is where it gets really stupid. I love the color. You may notice it's kind of similar to the other vibe that I've got going on my desk. It's similar to the machine I've got sitting next to me that I'm streaming on. That one is a Cooler Master Cube, which is also a Macaron edition, same as these are Macaron editions. And that's kind of a very similar bluey green that these switches are. So yeah, I bought these switches because I like the color. And I'm not sure that is a fantastic thing to do. But we'll find out. And the good thing about building a keyboard like this is if it does turn out that they're truly awful, come on, then I can always change them. And who knows, I might change them anyway, because new switches aren't overly expensive. So you can always try different things. You may notice this is a TKO keyboard. That means 10 keyless. I'm also going to get a standalone numpad keyboard. And with that, I can try different switches without actually having to buy enough for a whole keyboard. Yeah, thank you, Tablasol. It is just an awesome color, isn't it? It's one of my favorite colors. There's more and more of it appearing in my studio. The splash panel in our kitchen is kind of a similar color. Ow. The other thing about putting switches in is after a while your fingers start to really hurt. My arthritis does not like me here. So once I've got all of these done, and as you can see, we're about halfway through, then I'm going to go on to a keyboard tester, and we're going to see whether or not we have any broken switches. I do that before I put the keycaps on, because it's the easiest way. I'd rather not have to pull all of the keycaps off to fix keys. I'd rather just make sure that I can, swap the keys out, put a new one in, or fix the one that's there. I'm looking around me. I've left my tools downstairs, so it would be putting a new one in if I've broken any, and I'll fix it later. Now, I know the keyboard's good because I did a test fit of this on Monday when it arrived because it was new toys. I didn't want to build it until today, but, you know, I had to do something with it, didn't I? So I know the keyboard works. I know the switches work. So if anything doesn't work today, it's just purely my own clumsiness in putting the switch back into the keyboard or pulling it out of the keyboard before. So does anybody here rock a custom keyboard, or are you all using laptop keyboards or just a standard keyboard? Which is not anything to shame you with. I've been using those for years. And at companies, I don't get the choice always. So the other thing that I love about this keyboard is the options that it comes with on the inside that, like I say, we're not going to get to see today because I don't have the energy to start dismantling it. It has a flex cut PCB and a flex cut backplate, which means that you've got plenty of give in the keyboard for your typing, possibly too much sometimes. It's got, I don't know how many layers of foam and PET and other things in order to improve the typing experience, to improve the thocky sound and everything else. Like I say, it's easy to take apart. So you can change the different layers of foam. You can really try and tune it to what you want. It is going to get a force break mod at some point. And woo, that didn't sound good. It is going to get a force break mod at some point. And what that is you put some tape on the bits of the metal case that touch each other. And it's just supposed to block the ting when the metal hits itself, when it goes from one side to the other. So hopefully that is going to be a great playground for the next few months. It's this isn't going to turn into a keyboard channel because I don't have the money to turn this into a keyboard channel. But when I try something new, I'm going to bring it up, and I know that my son wants me to build him a keyboard, so that's probably going to happen at some point. Actually, my son's been threatening to steal my keycaps off of me, but it doesn't fit his keyboard. But I guess no doubt that means that at some point I'm going to have to build him one, and then he is going to steal my keycaps, and I'm going to have to buy some new ones for myself. There we go. Just another 4 to do. And my fingers are really going to thank me for that. Question is, what have I broken in fitting all of these? And the last switch. So what I'm going to do now, let's go back in the box for the keyboard. We get some accessories. Not many, but some. We get a key cap puller. So that's this side. And we get a switch puller. So if I've done anything wrong, we're going to be able to use those. So now let's plug it in. Now it's USB-C, but like I say, you can do it on the 2.4 gigahertz as well. And it's even got Bluetooth, and I think you can wire it up to multiple 3 devices, I think, something like that. And it even goes between Windows and Mac. So it doesn't matter what keyboard, what computer you've got, you can do both with a little bit of a proviso. We'll come to that proviso in a bit. So first up, I'm going to plug it in via USB because I'm just assuming that that's the easiest way to plug it in to start with. And then let's share my screen. That's not the screen you want to see. That's the screen you want to see. So here we have the keyboard. It's recognized that it's Galaxy 80. This is the software that you have to download from Epomaker. And here's kind of where the issue is with Macs. I forgot Linux. It will work with Linux, but not with drivers. And that's kind of the issue with Mac too. I don't know if Linux needs special keys for anything. I'll have to try it on my Linux machine and find out. But when you download the driver from Epomaker, there's only an option for Windows. There's no Mac driver as far as I'm aware yet. What about, can you plug an external keyboard into an Amiga? I've never tried that. I'm curious now. I only ever saw the Amiga with the standard keyboard. But yeah, so it means that we can't run it with, we can't run the driver on Mac, so it just has to work as it's supposed to work. The other issue with this is you download the driver, and when you plug it in, it's an unverified publisher. And because the language isn't in a Western Europe alphabet, I've got no idea what it's saying. So that's something to take in mind if you're going to do this. But we have our software here. I'm not going to go into that just yet. There's one thing I want to try first, and that is how's that? Typing key tester without having any keycaps on the keys. That is what translates for, but I was kind of had absolutely no patience in order to do that. That one's on me. I hate these websites. Oh no! Notepad's lost all of my things. That's kind of annoying. Yeah, I should really have translated it with a Google Lens. Okay, I'm not using you because I can't be bothered to go through all of that. I'm not going to use you. Keyboardtester.com, that is the one that I was looking for. Ah! Fine, I'll just consent. Okay, let's see how many of our keys work. So we have escape, F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then we have this undefined key. That's my F13 key. Okay, print screen works. Then we have the numbers. Going well. Oh no, I've lost P. Oh, P does work. I just didn't hit it. Phew, I was getting scared for a second there. Spacebar, Alt, Alt right. That is my function key that I'm pressing now that you can't see. That's a menu key, which doesn't appear. And that then would be which? Right control. Cool, all of my Windows keys work. I could also say no. The reason why I didn't just say no is because that's one of those annoying ones that has lots of legitimate interest BS, and you have to scroll down and individually say no for every legitimate business, and I hate that because I'm saying no. So what is your legitimate interest that overrides me saying no? But what I did do, and what I was looking for quickly, but I couldn't find, I wrote a script, and basically what you did is if you go into F12, which of course it isn't going to do this now because this is capturing everything. In your console, it was just a little JavaScript, and it set every checkbox on the screen to false. So when I come across a website like that, I generally just grab that that script, run it, and turn everything to false. I'm thinking of turning it into a plugin for Google Chrome, but I've not had time to look into that instead. So the spacebar on your work laptop is giving it. Ooh, that's bad. How do you give yourself space? You need space at work. Of course, the people that don't ask just go, yeah, that's also very true. How much do you trust these people for what they're doing? Right. So I think my keyboard's working. I am really happy. This has taken way less time than I was expecting it to. I might even have a go at dismantling the keyboard to look inside of it if we get the next step done quick enough, which I'm not sure we will, but we'll find out. So I'm going to unplug the keyboard now. Oh, what do you think to the RGB, by the way? Because, you know, you got to have some good RGB, haven't you? Can we get rid of some light? You can see that a bit better if I turn my light off. I like the RGB. Got to add me some RGB. I don't know what color I'm going to do yet. It's either going to be kind of a similar color to the Switch, just to pay homage to the Switch, or I might do the same as my fans have in my case, which I don't know if you can see here or not. Yeah, so see, they kind of just have the rainbow too. So I'm kind of thinking, let's just do the rainbow. Look at all of that mess. My desk is an absolute mess right now. Ah, thank you, Electus. It is kind of cute. I do like this keyboard. So I'm going to unplug it now, though, so I can move it out of the way a second. Jeez, it really is heavy. This thing weighs 1.5 kilograms. It is not a mobile keyboard. And then I thought, if I'm making my own keyboard, then why not go over the top and just make it completely over cute? So here are my keycaps. I went completely overly cute. You can't see those because of the light. I went completely overly cute. They've got little pandas on them. And it's kind of like little, almost handwritten letters. And we just have lots of stuff to put in there. And I just adore them. I absolutely adore them. And then we have a second layer here. So when I get my numpad, I can actually add numpad keys as well so that it matches. Thank you. I think it's awesome too. I saw this on Amazon. I'm going to put the links to everything in Amazon. I don't have any affiliate link or anything like that, so don't feel that you're supporting me if you click on anything. But I'll put the link in YouTube on that video when I finish building. So let's start building up. And I guess I have a question, because I'm umming and ahhing backwards and forwards. Do I go for the plain spacebar, or do I go for the over-the-top cutie spacebar? I know which way I'm kind of leaning with this, but I'm curious what the chat thinks. Oh, and the left-right keys. Look at this. The left-right keys are just panda prints. So we don't have arrows, we have panda prints. So let's see if we can put everything together. Always over the top. I'm so with you there. Right, let's do that one first, shall we? I'm just knocking everything on the desk over here. So we have our key. Which way round is it supposed to be? That way. Now, I did try test fitting this on Monday as well, and it's a nightmare. These things fit so tightly. Oh, that doesn't sound too bad. There's a slight clack when it goes down, but we'll say, oh, woohoo. Goodbye. Thanks so much for joining us to Black Salt. So we have Alexis saying plain. We have Fuel Sable saying over the top. Is there going to be a tie break in there? If there's a tie break and it's a plain, I'll change it. If there's not a tie break, then I'm going to keep the over the top that I've already put on. Oh, I love that sound. I'm going to love this keyboard. Let's do our arrow keys next. These do sound quite nice. They feel nice on the fingers too. I can see why some of the reviewers say it's like popping bubble wrap. And I wouldn't say it's exactly popping bubble wrap, but I can totally go with where they're coming from when you press it. There's kind of a... this stream is in software and game development just because that's what I generally do. This is kind of stepping out of the side and I couldn't see a better one. So that's it. It's just, I generally do .NET development using static web apps, Blazor, that kind of thing. So this is just a step out of the normal for me. I apologize for any confusion there. So print screen. Oh, don't stress. It's my bad. I should have put it on the right thing. I should have spent more time looking and got it correct for this particular stream. But if you come back next week I'm going to be playing with I'm probably going to be making an edit form for my website so that I can update the events that I'm speaking at from my website using Blazor, Azure Static Web Apps, and Azure Functions. So now we need to do our insert home, page up and down. So where's our... And if you're new here, then welcome. It's always great to see new people. You know what? I think it's going to take longer to put these keycaps on than it took to put the switches in. Especially if I keep on pressing it every time. So, home and page up, page down. Oh, that's nice. just for that, little bit of ASMR there. Right, I don't need none lock or anything else. Now, what else can I do which is kind of cute? For my caps lock, I have this caps lock key. I had two options. This one, if you look at it from the side, it's possibly better in the light. It has oh, absolutely. An ASMR stream with keyboards is just cool. I had Sander ten Brink here last week, and he was showing me the data API builder in Azure, and his keyboard is just mwah. Every time he typed, it was just amazing. I absolutely loved it. So for the caps lock, I have two options, a full size and a half size. I'm going for the half size because I have an issue when I type. And that issue is I always hit. I can't. It doesn't fit. I don't have a choice. Damn, that's for a different keyboard layout. I didn't realize that. It shifts the keycap across. Oh, I'm so upset about that. Because I have an issue when I try and touch type, my pinky goes onto the caps lock instead of A sometimes. And I was hoping this was going to stop it. But I guess not. This is where the next step of modern keyboards comes in and, making your own keycaps to go on it. Turn it upside. Ooh. Yeah, but that's not going to solve my problem. Bringing out the saw and turning it on still going to put it too close to the A. I can go with both of those options. 3D printing is an option. I got a 3D printer recently. That's definitely an option. But I don't know if I can make them as nice as this. This is kind of the quality that I can get from 3D printing. Let's put it back on main camera. So I don't know how well you can see that. That is, I believe, Bulbasaur. I tried to print a chess set for my son, but unfortunately it's too finicky for my FDM printer. So I've got to figure out how I can stop everything breaking. Maybe I have to make them bigger and just to hope they fit on the chessboard, or just print a bigger chessboard. I don't know, but we'll see. That is a Pokemon character, correct? I had no idea what Pokemon it was until we saw the Pokemon Detective movie at this weekend. It's a Bulbasaur, I believe it is. So yeah, we watched Detective Pikachu this weekend with my son, and I saw a load of different characters in that. And it got me thinking, he likes chess. He's been wanting a chess set. I wonder if I can make him one. But there are problems. So I have Pikachu here, and you may notice his legs are a little bit short. And his legs are a little bit short because somewhere on here, I have the base. His legs weren't thick enough to be strong enough, and they just snapped off. So I've got to do something to improve that. Well, give me the desk. Yep, his name starts with a B. It's, I know him, Pikachu, Psyduck. And off the top of my head, that's it. I don't know anymore. Okay, so we need something for this key. And I'm going to put on something like these. And I don't know whether or not either I'm going to do this one. Because I think I'm going to try and map this one to a macro that sets off a build. So do I have a crying panda for trying to build? Or do I put the crying panda on escape? I'm not sure which way I'm going to go yet. Let me know what you think. One thing that we can do, are you going to fit on the shift key? Yes, you are. So we're going to have a little bit of an over-the-top shift key. Then the ones along the bottom, we don't really have much of a choice. We have our control. we don't have a dedicated Windows key. Oh, we do have a dedicated Windows key, but it's a tiny key, and I'm not using that. So we have... That's going to be my Windows key. That's going to be my Alt key. And then on the other side, I can't remember what order these went in. So I'm going to have to plug it back in order to do these ones. But let's get the rest of the keyboard done first, because that we can figure out. These three I'm going to have to try inside of the app and build from there. So my left shift key, I don't have a choice. It has to be this one, because that's the only one that fits in the... It's not the only one that fits in the gap. Does it even fit in the gap? It is the only one that fits in the gap. I don't have any others that are this side, so this one is kind of an easy pick. So that's that one. Then we need my tab. Do I have options for the tab? Possibly do. Is that the same size? Well, that might be the same size. Is that the same size? No, that's not the same size. That's too big. So, what do you think? Do I do a panda in a jar? Or do I do a panda eating bamboo? I'm going to leave those two there for now and come back to the tab key and decide from there. Then I need to start going on the actual keys. And these really, we don't have any choice. Let's do our number row. These ones go a little bit quicker. By panda looks better, do you mean the panda eating bamboo? The one that doesn't say tab on it? Okay, we're gonna... Just at the point where I said, we're gonna speed through putting the actual keys on. It all goes horribly wrong, doesn't it? Right, we're getting there, we're getting there. I love this already. On the days when I'm working downstairs and not in my studio, because OMG, it is hot in here. I think... Oh, that's interesting. That's not my layout, is it? What should that one be? That is my layout. Do you know what really helps? It really helps if you put them on in the right direction. I'm thinking, what are those two pipes? What key should that actually be? And now we can try and use the switch puller, the keycap puller. Wow. Okay, those keys have some grip. Pulls the switch out with it. But of course, it's supposed to go on that way. Yeah, I nearly did it immediately after. So do you mean that one for the panda? The one that's only the panda with no word? Let me have the backspace. Do we have options for the backspace? I think we do. Not that one. That one's too small. That one's the right size. Okay, we have three options for the backspace. We have a backspace, we have a more panda with bamboo, and we have a big panda with a little panda. It's too much choice here. Is that one also? I wonder where this one's supposed to go. I guess we'll come to that one later. Oh, is that one? Nope, that's bigger than that one. So we can put that one on. Second one. So that would be this one. Where was that? That one went over here, didn't it? So that one can come back in here. Let's do the F keys, the escape key I'm not going to do. You know what? I'm going to do... I'm going to do the crying panda for my build. I might change that later, but for now I'm going to do the crying panda for my build, and I'm going to do a heart panda for escape. I might change the crying panda. There's some other ones in here, but let me get the other ones, and you guys can also, you folks can see what you think. So the other options that we have for the single keys are, that looks like a panda in a rubber ring. Then we have panda in a rubber ring with the green stripy background. Just a panda, I think. A panda holding bamboo, climbing bamboo. We have a panda with something, I don't know what. We have a weird panda. I have a panda maybe eating. Ow. I can't do that one because that's the same as I've got on my tab key, so I'm going to put that one back. Panda climbing bamboo, but without the green stripes. I actually quite like this idea for building it, because this is a panda and their friend. And then again, we have the weird panda, only without the stripe. I think that is all of the options that I have to use instead of this crying panda for my build button when I get around to it. Because who knows what. You know, builds can make you cry, but they can also be awesome and work. I've heard that it's not just like this fabled thing, but sometimes builds actually work. Okay, so when I finish this stream, I'm going to have to take this downstairs just because I want to do typing on it this afternoon and get used to it. It's such a beautiful sound. I can't wait to get all of the keys on it and then do a little bit more ASMR. And I think the colors complement the slight off-white of the keyboard. I think the colors complement that beautifully. Yeah, it's definitely a tough call for that build, isn't it? The key font does indeed look funny. It looks a little bit hand-drawn, but to be honest, that's one of the things that actually drew me to it. It just looks a little bit different. Now, is that going to like get on my nerves when I'm typing? I don't actually know. But I love the whole hand-drawn look. And I love the fact that, you know, some of the keys are all this like lovely mint green, except for some of them. Oh, damn it. I've done it again. I put the E in the wrong way round. Yeah, Comic Sans like. Absolutely. I'm going to be honest, I've never understood all of the hate for Comic Sans. Would I put it in a professional letter? No. Is it as evil as everybody says? No, I don't think so. Get some fun in your life. Do something different. Have fun. And some of the keys, then just go back to this white color. So it's just kind of dotted around the keyboard. And actually, on the second row, they use it in a really nice way to help you find your keys when you're typing. What have I done wrong here? I've missed out R. I missed out R. I've got to redo the last like 6, 7 keys. This is what happens when you go into automatic pilot and just pick it up and put it down. Yeah, well, I'm going to start with this side because then I can at least move it across. Let's put this one in. And let's just bend this a little bit so I don't have to keep on fighting it. Build your own keyboard, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Okay, I'm now not sure which way around the O's supposed to go. At least the I doesn't matter. That works both way around. Of course, that one took the switch with it as well. And here's me thinking this was going to be finished quickly. Okay, we have the top line done. It does sound nice. Almost there. Almost there. We're near the end. We're getting there. I'm going to do a monk type with it, and I expect everybody to laugh at me because the results are not going to be good. Because I can't type with people watching me, which is why I code on stream. So, what I was saying about these colors, you can see here for this row, the colors actually help you locate the locator keys. Because we have the locator keys are surrounded by white keys. Now, they do also have the bumps on them as well, but the bumps are really minimal, shall we say. Now we have the enter key. Do I have options for the enter key? I do have options for the enter key. You know, I like stars. I'm putting a star on my enter key. I feel that way about some of the stuff that I watch too. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm going to take that as a huge compliment. Thank you. Can I swap the enter key? Yeah. And now we come to the bottom row. Of course, the question is, can you not quit because it's fun, or can you not quit because, oh my word, what is this person doing? Either one's good. I can take it. There we go. Definitely getting near the end now. These ones are going in so much nicer. And that just looks... it looks like these keys were made for this keyboard. I don't know how well the color comes across on this camera. So let me bring you back up here again. That's going to be a lot better color representation. But it really looks like that's what it was designed for. I am so happy with that. And it sounds so cute. Okay, so what do we need to do now? Backspace. I'm going to put another stripy one for the backspace. That's 3 stripy keys. Let's get the desk back. Yeah, the color selection is fantastic, isn't it? Probably, yeah, that's it properly. So these keycaps, I think they're, is it MDA profile? Once I get it plugged in again, we'll have a look, because I do want to let you know what I'm building with. So the last ones, I don't know how to, in which order they go. I imagine it's going to be similar to what's on here. But let's plug it back in again. Let's refresh this screen. And let's see what we have here. So this one is the Alt key. This one is the That's the function key. Which just opens up all of my media. Then we have, that's the right control key. Which means that this one is going to be my menu key. It's just hit me what the menu key is. Duh. We go onto here and hit the menu key, we get the right menu. Of course, that's what the menu is. Bless 3, 2, 1, and 0. We have a full keyboard. Question is, can I type on it? That's like what we're going to do now. So what we want to go to is, oh, this is going to take some getting used to. It feels nice, but it's different. You can't see what I'm typing, can you? Let's go to this. Whoops. Whoops. I'm losing it. Okay, not fantastic accuracy. But 60 words per minute for my first attempt. I'm not unhappy with that. I'm really not unhappy with that. And like I say, just the way that it looks is just fantastic. Keycap profiles. Yeah, so these are, I'm going to try not to dox myself here. Let's see if I can get my orders on my other screen. There we go. Let's open an incognito tab. Yeah, whatever. So their MOA profile, apparently. But it means that they're fairly flattish. So it's these ones. And apparently that kind of suits me. So yeah, we're done. And with that, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you for the chat room. You've been awesome joining in today. I have really enjoyed this. And yeah, on that note, I will see you next stream. Have a good rest of the day, everybody. Enjoy. Bye-bye. And you're free. You can go and enjoy the rest of your day.